What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Patreon and YouTube. Hope you are all doing very well. We have a new game for you lot, lads. This one is called, now the name is a work in progress, but the name of the game is listen to a new album, treat the album in its entirety as a full piece of work and rate it based on the fact that it is an album, but also use a tier list to rank each individual song. The name is a work in progress. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but if anyone has any other suggestions for what we could call this other than just an album review with a tier list, then do let me know. Now, as you can see, I've upgraded and updated the tier list headers. Okay, now some people might think that these are a bit abrasive. Some people might think that they're not abrasive enough. I personally just threw this together because the idea of like S tier, A tier, B tier, so what I've done is F word, because we're just over the minute mark, so maybe we'll be all right. I believe if you curse in the first minute or so, I'm saying it. Fuck me, that's sublime is your S tier. Fuck me, that's good. Fuck me, that's not bad. Fucking meh and fuck off. Okay. Now, disclaimer: I'm not telling the band to fuck off. I'm not like, it's just like fuck off. You know what I mean? Fuck that song. Now, I highly doubt we'll have any of those tracks within this album, but I have to have it there. There has to be the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh, it's right there. The word is there. What is it? What is it? There has to be jeopardy. Fucking hell, I'm good. Anyway, lads, the album that we're going to be checking out today is none other than Alter by Ice Sealed Eyes. Now, I say none other as if you guys are going to be like well aware of who the band are. Some of you may be very familiar with the band, but I would imagine a good handful of you are not. If you guys seen recently, I reacted to and put on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, I'm not even going to say clickbait title. It just isn't clickbait because I completely stand by that title. Basically, it was along the lines of Sleep Token fans, or this band could be the next Sleep Token. Okay, maybe being the next Sleep Token is the stretch there, but comparing them to Sleep Token, I absolutely stand by it, especially within that track. Maybe not the full album, maybe we'll see. Maybe this will be a lot less like Sleep Token than comes across in Winter. But I did post these guys already. I listened to the track Winter, which is actually way down here, as you can see. I listened to that track a couple of, like maybe a week and a half ago or some shit, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing song. If you're into Sleep Token, I highly suggest you give this album a shot. At the very least, listen to Winter. It is amazingly good. These guys have 19,000 monthly listeners, so they're very underground in the grand scheme of things, and I believe this is their first album. And what interests me most about this album is that it's split into like 3 EPs, I think. So I believe An Entity all the way down to Mourning Sun is the first EP that they released. Then they did Mourning Sun down to Suffocate, and then that was like EP number 2. And then From Needles to Until the End is EP number 3. They combined all of those into an album, and we have Alter. So as you can see, I've already listened to, or I've already added 5 songs to my playlist, and this has literally just been from people requesting songs from these guys on my stream, and they've always done something really unique and always been really exciting. Now, I haven't returned to a lot of these songs, so it's going to be interesting for me to like play them again and see if they hold up, and also I'll have to figure out where they go in the newly crafted tier list that we have here. You know, again, it's all fun and games. You know, my opinions are not final, nor should they represent the general opinion of anyone, you know. But really looking forward to checking this out. It's 55 minutes long, 18 songs. It's a hefty enough album. I believe, again, it's their debut album. Let me just confirm real quick. Let me confirm albums. I'm completely lying. They have an album called Solitude from 2022, so ignore everything I've just said, but at least I corrected myself before you lot could. Anyway, lads, without any further ado, this is Ice Sealed Eyes, Alter. Let's go. I gave these guys some very high praise with my Sleep Token comparisons. Don't let me down.
What did you expect? Mercy. This is not revenge. This is a consequence. You dried out an ocean of life, leaving it with nothing but brambles and those butterflies. The world has changed and it's not yours anymore. You shouldn't have come up here. You fear for your life? Fair enough. You won't be killed, but soon you'll wish you were dead.
Shut up, I'm pausing already. I'm so in. It's hard to rate something that is 48 seconds long, but fuck me, that's sublime. That is how you start an album, lads. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be the most unique thing in the world. Just get me pumped. It's done that. It feels very like futuristic in a sense, obviously with the robotic voice, but it also feels very grounded in like... There's a car that drives past here every single day with stupidly loud exhaust pipes, and they wait until I'm starting to film. I fucking know they're going to do it in a minute. But before they do that, it feels very like cinematic, but also very futuristic at the same time. So I'm in. I'm fucking in. It's tying in the butterfly as well, which has been like the album artwork. There's some lore. There's already lore to the album. It's setting the stage. It's building a storyline. Am I going to be able to keep up with the lyrics and the storyline throughout? Probably not. But the point is that it's a memorable intro. Let's go. Winter theme, still here. Okay, Winter's like the second, third last track in the album, so they're already tying that in. Okay. Again, I heard this before, I don't remember it, but apparently I liked it at the time. Alrighty. Oh. Okay. Okay, off rip, I don't remember that song. If I'm looking at it again, I'm actually going to revoke my like. Okay, hear me out. I don't think it's that bad, but I'm going to revoke my like. I don't think that's like a playlist song for me, okay? I don't think that's a playlist song for me. However, I understand why I probably enjoyed it at the time. I think that ending is very, very sick. And obviously, this might have been one of the first tracks I'd heard by these guys, so it was probably like, ooh, one to look out for. It's added to the like tracks. But because I know some of the other tracks that are to come, I think they're just more solid tracks. So I don't think this one is going to stay in my playlist. However, it's not a bad song. I will say, as constructive criticism, and it was the one thing I did say in Winter as well, maybe it's just because my ear has become so accustomed to like massive budget. Well, I don't say massive budget. I don't think there's many massive budgets in metalcore these days, but like there's obviously certain bands that are pulling off a very fucking strong mix. Now again, these guys are probably quite low budget. I don't think they'd have a problem with me saying that, considering they have like 19,000 monthly listeners. They sound great, don't get me wrong. It does sound really, really good. But I just think it's only really, I don't know if it was the vocals. I'd have to listen to it again and see exactly what it is in the mix department. The percussion and everything sounds great. Like the drums are really punching through, and I think that's probably more important than any other part of the mix for me at this moment in time, especially for metal music, because it's such a driving factor having like a really strong percussive element to it. Hence why, not only for the percussive element, but Buster Odaholm's mixes and production is so sought after, because his drums sound so fucking amazing. The double kicks, the snare, everything sounds amazing, and it is like given its own space to breathe despite something being so like tuned low and heavy and distorted. So with these guys, the soft-spoken parts are perfect because there's nothing else like fighting for that space in the mix. There's just atmosphere, and then the like really ambient, clean vocals that are beautiful and very emotional. That's when like I can hear that, okay, it's probably just when everything gets a bit busy, I think the vocals are kind of lost a bit or something. There's like something that's kind of missing from a punch standpoint, and it's not the drums, because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, well, it's definitely not the drums, because the drums are really punching through. Maybe it's just like a balance level, like a mastering level at some point, where the guitars maybe might be a little bit too loud in certain parts, or maybe the drums are slightly peaking over the vocals, but I just think that the vocals maybe could be a little bit more pronounced in like the scream sections. That's all I'll say so far. But we're going on to distance, which I guess a lot of these tracks are going to be quite hard to like really rate, because some of them are like a minute long, but we're going to do it. So as this track transitions, I'm going to rate this one. I'll say, fuck me, that's not bad. I wouldn't say it's like, fuck me, that's good. And good doesn't mean like good. Good means, fuck me, that's good. You know what I mean? It's not just good. Because good would technically be like here. Because not bad means good. But fuck me, that's good is like, that's great. And then that's fucking sublime. You get where I'm going with this? I couldn't have made this more confusing. So basically, good is not good. Fuck me, that's not bad is good. But fuck me, that's good is great. I'm fucking stupid. Again, atmospheric break already. Interesting, very interesting. After a minute-long intro to an album, then a short enough track to get us going, then an interlude. I'm here for it though. It's different, man. It's definitely not like following the standard progressive metalcore or like Thal album format or structure. Do you know what? I can't quite... Goodness me. track number 4 sounding like that is definitely was not what I anticipated from this album. That sounds like the end of a fucking album if I've ever heard one. But at the same time, I guess because it's broken into 3 EPs, I'm wondering how this will flow in terms of the overall format of the album. Will it sound like 3 EPs car crash together, or will it sound like a fully fledged, like, flowing album? But Fractured, oh god, man, this is getting hard already. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt of their transitions as well. I feel like this is a good band for seamless transitions. However, they've just gone complete fade out there, so I stand corrected in this part. But before we go into a track that I've already heard, now I haven't heard this one in a while. I think Torments and There Is No Safety were two of the first tracks I'd heard. And I think Inner Wings and As We Collide are probably a little bit more recent. I may be slightly off on that, but these feel a little bit more familiar to me. Obviously, Winter's the last track I heard, but Inner Wings and As We Collide, they just, when I see them, their names feel more familiar and relevant and recent to me. So this one's probably been a while back since I heard it. Probably one of the first tracks I'd heard. So we'll see if I end up taking this one off the playlist or keeping it there. But yeah, tough one to rate on this one, because part of me is coming into this album kind of expecting more tracks like Winter, which is obviously the more like slow building, atmospheric, Sleep Token, for lack of a better example, style track. There's about to be a entire school full of children walk past the apartment now in a moment. I can hear them coming down, so please bear with if you hear. There's probably not many ways that I can't look like a freak by the end of the sentence, so I'm just going to stop. There's going to be children walking past outside, okay? Anyway, moving on. Fracture. This comes back to the mix, and I think this potentially could be one of the big, not big, but one of the problems that I have with the album from what I've heard so far and what I've heard in general from these guys. It's always been my one thing, because I think like compositionally and like musically they're really, really good. The mix is, I don't think it's bad. I just think when you're going that low, I think there has to be clear definitions between what you're doing on the low end of the sonic spectrum. Because otherwise, if you have too many like low end fuzzy sounds in your mix, it just, and I'm not a mixing engineer by any stretch, this is just from someone who listens to a lot of metal, by the way. But from what I'm hearing, like, they have the really, really low tuned guitars. It's a slow, sludgy drum groove, and they have this like eerie kind of like synth maybe underneath it. But the problem, like, I can't really hear exactly what the details are. I can make them out, but you have to really like almost, like, I'm like squinting my eyes to hear better, if that makes sense. You know, when you're just like trying to like really make out. Now, a lot of people won't give a fuck. They hear something that's like heavy and sludgy and like someone screaming over it, and they won't care too much. But just being a bit of an audio nerd and enjoying this kind of stuff, I really want to like squint the eyes and what am I hearing right now, and how are they making this, and like, you know, just like what's going on in this mix. So that, for me, as someone who's a little bit like that, this is where I think the mix is very important for something that's so low tuned. Again, Buster Odahome is such a great example, because so many bands are like seeking him to do their mix for like this style of work, because he's so good at like pronouncing the low end of the mix without it being muddy and like too distorted and like fuzzy, where you're like, what's actually happening here? So it's that fine balance of like, yeah, make it really heavy and disgusting, but make it sound really fucking like solid as well, and like make there be consistent, make all of the instruments stand out in their own right without bleeding into each other. So just from hearing Fracture, decent song. Again, from the actual position of the album, it seems very, very heavy to be a fourth track. It feels like we're literally breaking down and the album's about to collapse, and like the buildings and the ruins are falling around the city. Like, it's that kind of a track. So I'll say, fuck me, that's not bad. Again, it's not like, whoa, that's fucking great, which would be fuck me, that's good. And it's definitely not sublime, but not bad. But not bad is also good. Sorry. I'm going to end up confusing myself here. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing at the end of this. So There Is No Safety in the... Sweet. Dark. Probably could have fucking guessed that. Like, what did I wait that long? Fun start so far, though. I would like if they leaned into the more slower, melancholic, atmospheric, beautiful build-ups and then get heavy, as opposed to the whole track being like scream, 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 breakdown, because there's few and far between bands that can do that slow, take your time style build-up, you know, and then deliver. I have chills. It has all the hallmarks of what made Sleep Token popular. Disgustingly low tune guitars, very solid voice. The like hip hop style percussion in the background. Space. Okay. That was a good example of the mix sounding leveled and clearly defining each section where it was very easy to hear what's going on without it becoming like muddy. So I'm a bit torn on this track as well, because it is exactly what I'm looking for from this band, because Winter is literally the track that sold me on doing this album. I wasn't really planning on checking out this full album, but when I heard Winter and I seen the response that other people had given it based on like my YouTube video and the shorts and stuff, people seemed to be really digging it. Like I've seen a lot of people that had already like known the band and they were like, oh yeah, this is great. Like it's good to see these guys getting a bit of recognition. But then I also seen people who maybe clicked on because of like the Sleep Token references or whatever, and they're like, oh shit, I can hear it. Some people obviously disagree and get pissed off about it. You completely understand. It is what it is. But I mean, if you're getting like a couple hundred new people involved in the band, you'll take the couple of people that are like, yeah, Sleep Token. It's like, you know, it is what it is. There's always going to be some trade-off there. But this is exactly the type of track that I will say fell in love with in Winter. This is the exact same style. I think Winter tugged on the emotional strings a little bit more. This one is definitely a little bit heavier, I think, throughout. But it has those like spacious moments, those atmospheric moments. Again, it leans into the hip hop production. Again, it's like very Sleep Token-esque style music. I know people are going to say there's only one Sleep Token, and I completely agree. I'm the biggest fucking Sleep Token fan, and there's very few people that can pull off their sound. I think Sleep Token's producer is like George Lever or something, or Lever. I don't know exactly how to say his name. But I mean, he's got a fucking amazing style and like really, really knows how to blend that like low tune metal guitars with the like lighter hip hop stuff, with the like more percussive side of hip hop with like the like 808 beats and stuff, and just like the overall flow. Very, very good at making everything sound perfectly leveled. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure his budget or his price to get him involved is probably, especially after Sleep Token blowing up, is probably absolutely ridiculous. But I'm just saying, I think with the right production and the right mix and stuff, I don't think this is wrong again. I just think it needs like subtle tweaks to like make certain parts stand out a little bit more. Now, compositionally and the actual song for this one, I didn't love this one as much as Winter, but it's definitely that type of track that I have kind of come to want from these guys after hearing Winter. Like, I want more tracks like Winter. I understand not every song can be a slow burner like that, but they're like the unique foundations of what I'd be looking for from these guys. So not bad. It didn't have like the same emotional connection or like melodic moments in it that really grabbed me as much as Winter did, and I don't think it built as cleanly as Winter did. But I'll still say this is probably gonna be I'll be nice with this one, and I'll show you where I'll put it. I'll put that in fuck me, that's good, but it's not sublime, which is where I think I'll put Winter. We'll come to that. So that's the kind of difference. Winter is sublime for me. This is good because it's in the same ballpark as Winter, but it's not quite there. Let's keep going. Mourning Sun. So I think this is basically, okay, that track makes a little bit more sense now. I thought I just clicked play. What? That was the final track of the EP. So that makes sense because of how like slow and choking it was. Big again, like fucking massive sounds towards the end of an EP. And this is basically their EP part 2.
What is attraction? Seems like everyone has their own meaning for it.
But it works in context of the album as well. That's cool.
After seeing the moons dance, I would say we're no different. We're just individuals rotating around each other.
So cinematic, I love it.
Closer and closer, forgetting about ourselves, turning a blind eye to what is inevitable.
Inevitable. I think they're from Belgium.
We let ourselves drown in an ocean of regret, torn to pieces.
Right. I like this one more. Okay. It's still good because how do you rate a fucking 1 minute long like interlude, but also the intro to an EP, but it's the interlude of an album or a break in an album? Very Silent Planet in the chord progression and the lead work. That might be a synth, I don't know. The real like eerie. The melody didn't really hit with that one. Maybe I'll hear it again and it will click a little bit more, but on first listen that one did not click. And it's a big chorus, so I'm hoping that will come around.
Trust me.
Oh, this could be in the liked tracks. It's very proggy as well. Have we repeated any section here? That's going to be hard to pull off live, I'd imagine. Okay, that was the first kind of like really obviously, I guess, progressive metal track in the album, and I think I'm gonna like that. I got goosebumps when the second installment of the melody came in. I was gonna say, sorry, I've just paused it like an ignorant prick here. Let me just. Okay, let me cook for a minute. First of all, what is it with tracks that are named Satellite or Satellites that just end up being really fucking good? I don't know what it is when bands are writing about satellites. They just seem to fucking... Maybe they just go into this like outer space headspace and they just write fucking bangers, because I swear there's multiple tracks. Periphery have one, is it Satellites? Just incredible. That comes to mind straight away, and it's always like this big atmospheric masterpiece style track. There's the cunt. What did I fucking tell you? Is every time I film, it doesn't matter what time it is. If I film at 9 a.m, he's there. If I film in the middle of the day, he's there. It's 1 p.m. right now, he's there. He's doing this intentionally. He's watching me. Anyways, before I go down the fucking rabbit hole there. This track, very prog structured in the sense that I don't think it repeated itself once. I think some of the melody patterns were kind of similar in parts, but the lyrics didn't actually repeat themselves in any moments. When I first heard the melody come in, I literally was writing in my notes saying that the melody, and I even said it when the first melodies came in, that it didn't really hit. And I think that like monotone, almost lazy style of vocal, I'm not calling it like he's being lazy, I think it's just a lazy style of vocals in part. It's very meandering, like that can be quite hard to pull off certain melodies, I think, because you're going from this like it's like anti-melody. It's like I don't want to listen to someone going so when you try and lean into melody with that style, sometimes it doesn't really hit. But that was my initial thought when you first kind of went into that first melodic moment. But then we kind of got like another chorus. So structurally, I don't really understand that song. I'd have to listen to it again and like see how it flows. But I think it's just a real prog style track where there's not really any structure to it, which I kind of like, because at no point was I expecting it to go melodic, like atmospheric, big crescendo moment within the first section of the chorus, and then it breaks away from that, and I'm kind of like writing down my thoughts like, I don't really like the melody, and then he goes into an even more melodic moment, which sounds like an even bigger version of the chorus, and then they kind of finish up with like a revamped version of the same melodies that we have with different lyrics. I think that's how the song went. So really fucking fun overall. Really, really fun. I think that is going to go. First of all, it's in my liked tracks. And because of the melody, and it got my hair standing up, and because of the prog structure, it's not predictable at all. It's not like cookie cutter metalcore stuff. It's going in here somewhere. Now, where is it going to go? I don't know. Maybe right after, no say. Mourning is just going to go here, because it's just an interlude. It's the intro to the second part of the EP, so we're going to put that there. And then Entity is honestly, it's robbing a living being in Sublime, but it is a sublime start to an album. It doesn't take much to get me like really hyped about the start of an album, so it's done enough. But next track is, again, another track that we've heard. As We Collide. As we collide, we come together. Sorry, that's a James Arthur song, is it? I'll find that out and come back to you with that useless information. But As We Collide, it's also When We Collide, but I've remixed it. This is, again, a track that I believe is really, really good. This one's a little bit more familiar. I can't remember how it goes, but I'm sure as soon as I hear the melodies, it will be coming back to me. Let's go. It's actually Biffy Clyro, is it? When We Collide. But who did the version of it? Matt Cardle? Oh, I don't fucking know, lads. I'm gonna get destroyed for this. When we collide, we come together. Who did the version of it? Sorry, shut up, Joe. Again. The mix is perfect in these moments. Oh, those sad chord progressions. Oh. This is where they're at their best, these slow builds. Add those layers, man. Keep building it. There's so much to unpack in this track already. Okay. Oh, fuck me. This is why this is fun, because it's like, it's so good already, but it's just like, there's room for improvements. Again, this is just from a fan's standpoint. This is not me like, I fucking hate you lot, do this or you're shit. Like, you know, it's not that at all. This is just from the point of view of someone who's actually getting excited about this. This is actually exciting to me, because they're like right there, and they'll be watching this. Like, I've spoken to pretty much all the members of the band at this point, and they were very adamant for me to check out the album. So look, I want to do my best to just give constructive feedback, because these bands, like, they were all very thankful that I'd kind of like given them the time of day to listen to, because there's so much saturation in this field at the moment. And it can be hard to get around to some of the lesser known bands because there's thousands and thousands of bands that are all like fighting for attention. And obviously we only have so much time to check them out. And there's only a handful of people that are actually like checking out the real niche bands in the scene. So it can be like really hard to actually get noticed and just have people actually give you constructive feedback that's completely objective, because obviously if the bands, and I'm not speaking directly to Ice Sealed Eyes here at all, but like I guess from the band's point of view, they're probably sending the music to like friends and family and stuff to get feedback, and then obviously they have their already core fan base who are probably a little bit more familiar with the sound, but they're just getting like the comments on YouTube videos after the fact. They're not actually getting to see their fans like listen to the music in real time like I'm doing right now, and seeing what moments kind of light their faces up and what they can really lean into. So I think it can be helpful. I'm not trying to blow my own horn here or anything, but I'm just saying that this is me getting excited about this. So I want to like preface all that with, by like, you know, this is just me offering my objective, honest feedback. Take of that what you will, or make of that what you will. This song, there's so much to talk about in this song. I'll try and keep it brief. But again, I've already heard this song and it's most certainly staying in the playlist. So this is a bit of a run right now. We have 2 tracks in a row, and obviously we had the little break here. So we're kind of on a 3-track streak. Now this track, I feel from the 3, that There Is No Safety. This is probably the weakest. So you know what? I'm actually going to change this around. Hold on, let me do a bit of rejigging here. So this Satellite is going to go here, right? Because No Safety is good, but I think it needs a bit of work, like I've already discussed on that. As We Collide is going into... Ooh, I think that goes here. I think that's fuck me, that's good. It's not fuck me, that's sublime, because it's just not quite there yet, and I'll discuss. The band is fantastic. They are doing a lot of like things that I would expect from a band that's maybe not tied to a label. They just feel very free, and they're just doing whatever feels right to them, and maybe taking influences from what's hot in the scene at the moment. There's a lot of like Thal style breakdowns where you have big low tuned open string moments with these production elements, with these like bass boosted drops and like reverse notes, it sounds, getting pulled out of the mix as well, like the very, very popular in today's modern metal. Like Thal music, of course, I'm a big fan of Thal music. However, I have had the opinion of for a while that a lot of it can sound quite incoherent if it leans into it too much. And some of these moments, and it's mainly because the section at the very start, before we got the first chorus, there's like a couple bars of like fucking disgusting groove where you can really headbang along to it, but they don't hang around there for too long. And to be honest, we're 8 tracks in, and there's been very few moments where I've actually been able to like really swing my head. And at the end of the day, this is metal music, and I know not every metal track has to be high energy and groovable, but at the end of the day, I'm more of a groove orientated guy. I love melodies and stuff as well, but if I want to go see a band live, a lot of this like although it's cool and it's cinematic and it serves the vibe, for lack of a better term, of an album, it can like really help with atmosphere. Live performances and stuff, hearing all that live, I'm sure would be cool to a certain extent, but the whole set of that to me gets a little bit boring, I'm honest. And also incoherent. It's kind of like, what's going on? Like, there's actually no structure to this. I'm sure there is a structure. There is definitely a structure, but it's like, it doesn't sound like it. You know what I mean? It's intentional chaos, but it's still chaos. So hearing the groove in the start of this track kind of opened my eyes to the fact that we haven't really had any of those moments throughout the entirety of the album so far. And now I'm kind of like longing for something to kind of tie everything together with a bit of groove. So I think a little bit of groove would have helped some of the songs, not just this, but when I heard the groove on this, I was like, yeah, okay, it needs a bit of that. The melodies are really picking up though. The melodies at the start of the album weren't like doing much for me. It was definitely a lot heavier and like more of a black hole sound, whereas this one is a little bit lighter and a little bit more sing-along. So melodies and everything are really, really, really solid in this track, as were they on Satellite. But again, it's just that like incoherent Thal style, which is fun, but maybe don't lean too hard into it. Again, the transition into that groove was also sick. Sludgy Thal breakdowns can be fun, they help the vibe, but they can be a little bit jarring when that's the kind of like entire breakdown. But yeah, great song. That goes into the fuck me, that's good tier. And we have another break. So are we doing the same structure? So we have the intro, then we have a regular song. Are they gonna go like full on trap metal here? Okay. Well, okay, can. Forlorn. How do you rate this one? Jesus. These are just kind of impossible. It's not fucking meh. It's just, fuck me, that's not bad. That's the first of the like 3 interlude style tracks or like intro style tracks that we've gotten that I've just been like, yeah, whatever. Well, it's not bad, it's just... But yeah, that's literally, it's just not bad. Who's this featuring? Concealed Reality. I don't know Concealed Reality, but they're featured on this. Did they hear my warning about groove? Oh, hello. Okay, he sounded very like Manuel from Unprocessed. Pause. Shut up for a second. Okay, everyone shut up. Shut up, okay? Vocals very raw in the scream sections. It's weird because the like vocals in the scream sections are so raw, but they're like so well produced and they sound so immaculate and clean in the like clean vocal style. It's kind of similar to Unprocessed now that I think of it, because again, Unprocessed screaming style and their mix in general is very raw and I guess feels very real in terms of like their ability to play it live. And it doesn't sound like it's been very I was about to say robotized, but it doesn't sound very robotic. It's probably just a better way of saying that. What the fuck just happened there? We got like some distorted kicks or some shit that was coming in, so let me just hear this again. Again, a bit more groove. Hardstyle kicks. Distorted hardstyle kicks. Oh man. They were listening to me about the groove. I mean, I got my wish. It's still a bit jaggedy because of like the weird inclusion of the hardstyle kicks on certain kicks in the drum pattern. This whole song sounds like a fucking airstrike. All the like reversed, I think that's reversed guitar notes being played. So they're just playing a note and then reversing it. Man, I love how the like staccato style notes on the guitar are like syncing back up with the drums on certain snares. They just keep syncing up. Okay, Jesus Christ. Fun song. Again, they leaned a little bit into the groove there, but they did kind of find their way back to the not so incoherent in this sense, but more of the like abrasive, really black hole, disgusting, low tuned staccato style. Just like I pointed at I wasn't comparing them to the alt here. I was just pointing at the nuke on my jumper right now. It just felt like we were just constantly being artillery striked and nuked. So yeah, fun, big, heavy track. Not necessarily a track that I'm that into. It has some fun moments. Again, the groove was fun. I'll give them that. Nothing that like got me properly slamming my head, but at least it was kind of on the same wavelength. I was like, we haven't really heard any groove here, and then boom, next track they drop some groove in. So maybe they kind of felt it as well. Maybe they were listening to the album back and they're like, maybe we should put the groovy song here. Maybe, who knows? But there's definitely a lot of people that are going to be a big fan of that track for sure. It's like really, really heavy, really low tunes, just abrasive scream vocals throughout. I don't mind it. Not going playlist, but in terms of where it goes, I will say I'll say that's pretty like high up in the fuck me, that's not bad. Like, it's not fuck me, that's good. It's fuck me, that's not bad. If you get me. Again, I genuinely do suggest some like fun ways to do a tier list as opposed to like S tier and like A tier and all that. I know Steve has his masterpiece, delicious, solid, not for me, and then something else. I can't remember what it is. Obviously, I've gone with the more abrasive, like just fuck off at the end, but that was literally me just deciding to do this last second, and I just typed them all in. So yeah, maybe suggest some things, and I'll definitely take them on board and maybe alter it slightly, but because it's more fun like tier listing stuff this way, as opposed to the rating system of like, oh, this is a 7 out of 10, because the numbers just they're sticky. In like 10 years time, someone's like, you gave this song a 7 out of 10 in 2014. Whereas with like, fuck me, that's not bad, is so subjective that I can just be, well, fuck me, that's not bad is also a 10 out of 10, you know? Anyways. So they're definitely leaning into Thal a lot more here. This is the last track on the second EP. More of this, please, come on.
Deep in the sea, fragments of love. Letters upon the flood, brothers and dogs. Sea of tears, 10 months and dark. Rotting love laying down the ocean road. Your
Last moment of the second EP about to hit.
nothing left but some stars and the sky.
Okay. That is Okay. That was some Ashen by Humanity's Last Breath level of distortion at the end there. And again, it's leaning into the really like open pockets of space, like black hole style breakdowns, which I am not the biggest fan of across the board. Few and far between. They're really fun and they can be effective in like getting a point across, but I think they should be used very sparingly because I just don't think there's much musical value. I mean, if you're like really into the cinematic aspect of it, which I always am, then for sure. But I think when they're overused, it just becomes like, what are we actually listening to right now? Are we just displaying our ability to go really, really heavy? Or are we actually trying to make like a really memorable, I guess, catchy, groovy, like music? A lot of the like foundational points of what makes music fun to listen to. But I guess it's so subjective that that's a void point because people will be like, well, your idea of what is fun is different to mine. So I get it. But, you know, it's like big fucking zero chugs, distortion beyond belief, letting that note ring out until the next one comes and like claps back in. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that style. It's weird because it's like the EPs are like working in tandem. Like the 3 EPs being combined into one are like working in tandem, but also kind of doing each other a disservice as well because they all make sense within their own right. But this feels like the outro to the album again, and then it's like we're starting again. So I don't know, it kind of feels a little bit disjointed in parts because it does literally feel like we're just stop starting. It kind of feels like we're getting into the storyline and then it's completely over and then we're starting again. But I guess that could be tying into the theme lyrically of the album, which I'm not really keeping up with. But musically, I mean, I've made my points on what I'm looking out for. I want more clean vocals. I think when the clean vocals come in, they're absolutely beautiful and they really help to like bring the emotion out. More groove maybe in parts. Lean into that like groove that we got in As We Collide. More of that. Just to make the tracks have a little bit more replay value for me. And then maybe a little bit less emphasis on like the Thal style of things. I know Thal is like very popular at the moment, but like, who knows? In a couple of years, maybe people are just over the whole like Thal style breakdowns. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use a lot of like the nuance that Thal brings with like, you know, low tune, bendy strings, a lot of like contrast between the dissonant notes. What the fuck is going on outside? Oh, it's just a dog barking. You're gonna have to put up with that, sorry. But yeah, like lean into some of the like obviously the more nuanced Thal stuff, like with the ambience and all that kind of like really clean, beautiful stuff that helps. Shut up. Yeah, I'm being distracted by a fucking dog. So let's go on to chapter 3. I need to rate this one.
There is a garden inside of you. You can't see it, but you can witness its state, depending on how you feel when you look in the mirror.
Not bad is where I put that.
Like a deep dive into your emotions. Let them bloom and appreciate every shade of them. There will always be needles, but they will only occupy the space you allow them. One day, if you take care of your garden, you won't need to chase butterflies anymore. And remember, you are more than just a reflection.
Feels like something dark I would put in the middle of their album. Except Darko would probably have like a female moaning at the end of that. They'd be like, ah, and then they would just go into the next track. Needles. First track on the final EP and the last leg of the album. Jesus! Again, all of these like fun style riffs. Very different style vocals. It wouldn't be modern metal without some like distorted, sexy, soft-spoken vocals. Okay. Bit of groove. Thank you. What the fuck? That song was mental. I also forgot to mention that there was some like weird vocal moments at the end of or in the middle of, or even at the start. I've just mentioned every part of the song before finally getting it right, and I still don't even know. The track Suffocate before, or maybe it was Deadweight. I don't know which track it was, but there was a weird like vocal effect moment that I thought was a little bit tacky, and I don't really like when bands do it. Tesseract are an example of a band that I hold very fond and dearly to my heart, but they did that on Dan's vocals in I think it was in the bridge section of War of Being, the title track of their last album, where Dan is like speaking and it goes all this like, oh, give me everything, and like as he's singing it, it's like clipping and like distorted and robotic, and it sounds AIDS, for lack of a better term. Sorry, that's the first word that came to my head. And I always find those vocal effects, there's few and far between moments that I can think of that really pays off. Otherwise it just comes across a little bit tacky and like almost kind of feels like you're overcompensating. It's like, oh, we need to like just, you're adding too much. It's like you're just constant. It's like when you put too much fucking sugar on a cake or something, you know, when you like overdo, or you put too much salt in your chips and then you're just like, you fucked it, you know? That's what it feels like. Terrible example there, but I think I got the point across. Needles, it's not bad. It's gonna go in, I don't even have the words screwing up. Jesus, this is becoming a disaster. Here somewhere, I don't know. It's not bad. It is not bad at all. It could nearly go fucking mad, to be honest, but it's probably a bit too harsh. Anyway, let's go. The Pond. it's kind of getting, it's like they broke the distortion knob towards the end of this. It's like the tracks now are just getting ridiculously distorted, and they're definitely leaning into the thal a lot more, which I guess, yeah, it's modern metal. It's gotta be done. But they did have another section of groove there, which was nice. But they kind of like lean into it for a moment and then just completely run away from the groove again, and they go back to the bum bum bum. It's very loath in the vocals building up here. Okay. Speak of the devil. I'm sorry, with that kick pattern there and the way that built and the vocals. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's double kick pedal. I mean, it's not the most unique thing in the world, but it's just the way the vote, like the fact that I was already calling for lows before we got into it. Down, 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 digga. Wait, hold on, let me just gonna wreck me. Is it, I feel like it might be the second track. Is it Broken Vision Rhythm? Hold on. I'm not gonna be able to stop until I find this. Fuck my life, New Faces in the Dark. This album's ridiculous, by the way. Holy fucking shit. Down, down, down. It's definitely in this album. Gored. Gored by Loathe. Hold on, wait. Wait for it. Wait for the kicks to come in. With the style of vocals as well, okay? I'm not saying they copied it, but I'm just saying it's very Loathe. I mean, you could probably put that down to like every fucking popular gent/modern metal band has somewhat sounded like that rhythmically before, but that one felt very Loathe. Which track was that? It was more because these vocals, like, it's like real, like it's kind of similar to Sleep Token in the way that sometimes when they get angry, he like speaks through his teeth. He's like, take off your clothes. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking freak. Let's keep moving. Like, it's, the vocals are completely inaudible. I somehow managed to hear take off your clothes though. I'm hoping those are the lyrics, or you look like a complete freak. When these kicks come in though. Okay, I'm probably reaching a little bit with Loathe, but it's just because of the vocals that we had leading into it, okay? Give me a break. Okay, again, they've fucking dialed up the distortion by like, look, they've tenfolded the distortion. It's almost kind of like muddy for me at this point, where I can't fully enjoy the grooves because it's like genuinely just like. But I guess it's kind of a stylistic choice as well. You could argue that it's like supposed to be that muddy style production like we have on I Let It In, It Took Everything, using Lowe's as that example again. However, Lowe's production is definitely a little bit more solid and consistent, I think. I'm not sure these guys are using baritones, but maybe they're using like 7 strings and going really low, so it's a little bit muddier. But that track is, I'm gonna say, I'll put the pond here. Groove and some riffs. And modern metalization. Back to tension. Build it again. Let's finish on a very high note here. That snare sounds mental. You can't have a fucking modern metal album without sounding like Chino Moreno at some point. This is Free Howling, I think, is the artist featured on this, maybe? Very similar to the Dali Thundering concept here. The Dali Thundering concept for sure in this section. I'm so curious to hear the end of this album now again. We've had a bit of a gap though since As We Collide. We haven't really reached that height again, unfortunately. Okay, decent feature. Decent little feature. I'm guessing it was the guy doing the rap style, I guess. The more isolated rap section. I don't know. I don't know. Bloom is... Fuck Me, That's Not Bad. It's here somewhere. Again, Fuck Me, That's Not Bad. This could be in any order, to be honest. This track, I remember. Blast Beats. Again, this is already in the playlist. Big track.
When you look into me
Oh, this part goes off. Now that I remember it. I forgot about this part. Man. Holy fuck, this goes into winter, bro. Oh my god. Man, I am annoyed at myself that I haven't gone back to this track more. Look, I know I've been harping on about the black hole sound towards the end of the tracks where it just goes full staccato style, like black hole. But man, when the track is that beautiful and it builds that beautifully with the vocals and the melodies, that's when it feels like it pays off more. Same with this track. It's 6 minutes long. It's a slow build up. The breakdown's kind of like a black hole, but it feels like you want to fall into the black hole after the beautiful build up. You know, there's that payoff. You feel like you really earn it. I need to rate this track. Again, I've heard this track. My full reaction is on all platforms at this point, so go check it out. But I'll be listening to this again. This has to be a sublime track. This is going top of the tier. Also, whoever was involved in the vocals for this,
when the ceiling starts to talk, what can I do to stop my mind lost in the storm? Why does it hurt so bad? The chaos that's inside. Why does it hurt so bad? Could someone help me out? Facing the mirror.
oh,
I'm not getting better.
all the little details, the sparkly little moments in the back.
Not to last forever.
This track is amazing. More people need to hear this fucking song, man. Oh my god. This is exactly what I mean for the entirety of this album. I know not every song is going to be like this. But man, the ebb and flow of this song, the slow build, the layers upon layers, just constantly adding to it, and then the crescendo is just like, ah. Especially after Inner Wings, that's one of the best portions of an album I've heard all year. 100%. Fucking hell. You see, again, it's kind of like slow, sludgy breakdowns and slow, sludgy climactic moments, but when the atmosphere and the emotion has you by the balls, you can kind of be taken anywhere. But it's when the whole song just feels like it's scream, 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 no emotion. Of course, there might be emotion in the lyrics, but it's not really conveying that through this like beautiful, haunting, progressive melody that they have. It's a bit lost when we go scream, 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 breakdown, loads of like chaos and misplaced notes everywhere. It doesn't feel the same. But when you have this beautiful, meandering, slow build up and then it falls down on itself, it's just, that's how you do it, man. That's how you fucking do it. These guys, this portion is fucking phenomenal. Man, if they somehow pull off a song of the same caliber as the two tracks we've just heard back to back, it's easily the best ending to an album I've heard in 2024. It's already up there with, I was just looking at the lyrics there. Thank God that wasn't some other fucking wacky browser I was on. Just boobs everywhere. Yeah, if they manage to pull off another fucking S tier track here, that is without a doubt fucking sublime. Bass. How almost feels like a Gojira lead very far back in the mix. I don't know if it's intentionally so far back in the mix, but you can hear that. Almost sounds like Gojira to me. What the fuck? I feel like I'm... oh. Holy shit, man, that was like Mirror's Edge. Okay. Wowzers. Man, I feel like I got fucking, you know, I got zapped by the Destroy All Humans Alien. Remember that fucking game? Remember this shit? Oh my god. I think there was like a gun that you could fucking turn people into cows or some shit. Or maybe it's because I'm so used to fucking launching cows into the air like he's doing here. Like I used to play this game and just fucking send cows into orbit. How is this how is this what I'm talking about in the end of an album review? This was me. You can't see I'm in the fucking way, but yeah, look, there's me launching a cow. Anyway, the point is that fucking breakdown there, it felt like I just got zapped by one of these fucking guns that this cunt used. One of these yokes, one of these bad boys. It feels like, oh my, I'm in the way again. Here. One of these fucking bad boys, I got zapped to pieces. Whatever that breakdown was, again, they turned the distortion dial up to 1,000,000 and just said, fuck it. We don't even care about how much this clips. We're just sending it. Anyway, enough about my childhood kinks with launching cows. What? Until the End is the last track. And I'll say, fuck me, that's not bad. Unfortunately not the outro that I really hoped for. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's gonna be like upper echelon not bad, which means it's like lower tier great, I suppose. But it's not quite peaking into the great tier. Now hold on, just for the sake, this is bullshit that I have this here. This is just fuck me, that's good. Okay, all of these go together. We'll just do it in order just to make it look nice. So 1, 2, and 3 should go together. They just can't be sublime. They're fucking like 1 minute long mood setters. Jeez Louise, that was a, I won't say phenomenal album. Kind of the opinion that I had going into this album reaction was that regardless of how I come out, I've heard enough from these guys to know that they have a bright future. in the progressive metalcore thal, even maybe leaning into the pop world with some of those vocals. Oh man, there's so much to talk about. I think I've done a good enough job of like describing my feelings up to this point. Clearly Winter and Inner Wings as the last two tracks, or second, you know, the third and second last tracks on the album, are the standout of the album by an absolute mile. Going into the album, we had Torments liked, which we've unliked. I think that's fair enough. I don't think that stays in the playlist. I mean, and I'm comparing it to these tracks, for example. Like, these are fucking solid tracks, whereas I don't think Torments really stacks up to them. So I think that's fair enough to take them out. There Is No Safety in the Dark. It was a very fun song. That was the first track that kind of was in the same vein as Winter, which was what I was expecting more of. And this is where I'll input my constructive criticism and feedback is, I see lies. I know you guys are watching, and I know you'll probably be looking for some objective feedback. What you've done in Inner Wings, Winter, and There Is No Safety in the Dark, and even Satellites, and As We Collide. If you can find a way to just put that sound in a bottle and sell it to me, I'll buy it. Because especially Inner Wings and Winter, the melodies, the chord progressions, the crescendo moments, the slow build, the ability to take your time without like overdoing it, the dialing down of the distortion knob. Sometimes it can feel a little bit tacky when it gets too distorted. It's almost like, I don't want to say overcompensating because the music is really good, but it does feel that way because I've heard so many like underground bands that like send me their music every week that are trying to make the name for themselves, and they kind of think like the more distorted and the heavier things are, the more attraction it will get, because these days it's all just about being as heavy as fucking possible, which is just not the case. It doesn't have to be really distorted for it to have impact. Certain times, there's definitely a time and a place. I think Ashen by Humanity's Last Breath is the most distorted album I can think of, but it kind of works because it's suiting, it kind of feels the purpose of that album is to create this like post-apocalyptic vibe where the world is completely falling apart and it's just disgustingly heavy and brutal. So that makes sense. Whereas you guys, like, obviously are leaning into clean vocals and melodies and beautiful, like almost pop style progressions, and it's gorgeous. There's so many fucking brilliant moments in this. As an album overall, geez, there's so much I can talk about. I'll touch on some maybe like negative points. Maybe lacking a little bit of cohesion with the 3 EPs working in tandem, but also working against each other in the context of the album. So the EPs obviously are cool for like rollouts because you get like 3 different EPs that all form into an album. So it's a clever idea, but I don't know if it felt like the most cohesive piece of work. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. I don't have much to add on that. I just didn't feel like it flowed that well. In moments, it definitely flowed really, really well, but there was a lot of like stop, start, stop. Pretty much every song from what I can remember, kind of like stop, started, stop, started, stop, started, stop, started. So we're never really getting going in terms of a flow. It's not like this song is into the next song. Maybe there's a few moments I'm not thinking of, but it felt like a lot of the songs were easy pauses for me, because sometimes I'll know by how well the album flowed because it's quite hard to pick a moment to actually pause. And this felt like there was never any moments where I was kind of like interrupting the flow of the tracks. So yeah, just a personal preferencing, I guess. I think the scream vocals aren't quite there yet in certain moments. They sound good, but they're also really raw, and I don't think the mix helps them in certain parts. I don't know if it's the guitars or what it is, but when some of the drops and the breakdowns don't hit as hard as they should do, I think it's almost because there's like an overemphasis on distortion on the like higher end of stuff that it almost feels like the low end. I don't really know. Again, I'm not like a mixing engineer or anything, so I could be talking out of my ass here, but I'm trying to just like pinpoint exactly what it is. Some of the drops didn't really hit is what I'm trying to say. Now when they did hit, they really, really hit, but some of the moments just felt a little bit try hard, and I can't quite explain exactly what it is. But I'll leave it at that. It's not like the deepest criticism. It's kind of void, to be honest, because I can't even explain myself, but that's just what I felt. More melody, more cleans, please. I have that written out in capital letters. Lean into those clean vocals. I'm such a big fan of that. It doesn't mean abandon all of the heaviness. Go heavier. Maybe peel back the distortion if you can still go heavy. You know, double kicks are very prominent in the album. There's blast beats. There's a lot of screaming. I think the screaming is a little bit best served when it's like less consistent and not like continuously going all the time. You know, break it up a little bit, add some more clean vocals in, and build the tracks a little bit more, like with Inner Wings and Winter, even though Inner Wings literally started with blast beats, but I rest my case. It makes no sense. Yeah, fucking hell, phenomenal moments. There was some really fun moments. I mean, I have all my individual parts written down, but I think I kind of touched on them as we went. So overall, lads, we'll do a quick roundup and you can see exactly where I sit with all the tracks. So there's my shitty notes. Winter, Inner Wings, sublime. fucking sublime, one might say. As We Collide, Satellite, No Safety. There is no safety in the dark. An Entity, Mourning, and this. So I mean, these can kind of honestly go and the fuck off here because like they're kind of irrelevant. They're just like little filler tracks, but most tracks have filler tracks, and these ones did a good job at like transitioning us to certain moments. So I guess I kind of contradict myself by saying that there's no flow to the album because these tracks kind of do it. But yeah, and then the not bad tracks, they're all here. I don't need to explain them. You can see them on the screen. They're literally in there in front of you. No fucking mad tracks and no fuck off tracks. So that to me is a solid album. I'm not going to give a rating, but I'd love to hear what your rating is, guys. I would say if I was to give a rating, it'd probably be around an 8.4 out of 10. It's got some S tier tracks like 9 plus out of 10, but as a whole, you know, there's plenty to work on for the band. But man, they're a fucking phenomenal unit. Definitely one to look out for. Alter, I Sealed Eyes. Leave a like in the video, guys. If you enjoy this content and you want to support me, then get involved in Patreon. These videos go out early on Patreon, so I'd love to have you there. Helps me out, helps support the channel, helps me buy lights that I don't know how to set up. I tried to buy a light for my key light, but I ended up buying a fucking AstroTurf floodlight. Like, this thing could light literally an entire planet. It's that ridiculous, so I kind of have to bring that back. But at least I have the option of getting it because you guys can help me on Patreon. So yeah, if you want to support, links are in the description, lads. There's literally over 200 album reactions on there. I haven't counted, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Lads, I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.